Hey there, it's Dave Hompes from hpylorisymptoms.com. And in this video, I'd like to just explain how irritable bowel syndrome, this mysterious disorder that affects so many people's digestive systems, may actually be nothing more than a reaction in the gut to certain foods you might be eating. So if you have irritable bowel syndrome or IBS, and you want to try manipulating your diet a little bit to see if different foods make you feel better, then this video is going to be really helpful for you. Now, in my experience, if you have irritable bowel syndrome, I want to find out why it's irritated. Why is your bowel irritable? And it makes sense that if you're eating 3, 4, 5 meals a day and snacks, that you might find that the food has an influence on the digestive system, because that's where it's going. It's going from in the external environment, through your mouth, down your esophagus, into your stomach, and then into your intestines. Now, if your body, if your nervous system and your immune system within the gut don't like some of the things that you're eating on an individual basis, then you may find that you get the symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome. And they include bloating, constipation, loose stools and diarrhea, abdominal pain, belching, gas, wind, and so on and so forth. And if you're experiencing those symptoms now, then you have my sympathies. But it may be just some common foods that you're eating on a daily basis that are actually creating the symptoms. So you go and look at the research on gluten, for example. Millions of people have problems digesting gluten, a protein that's found in wheat, rye, and barley. Well, bread and pasta and cakes and biscuits and what have you are all made from wheat in general, and they contain gluten. So if you're having cereals for breakfast, sandwiches for lunch, pasta for dinner, and you're ingesting gluten all the time, that might be the culprit. So I suggest you try a gluten-free diet for a month or so. You can't lose by doing so because it can't cause you any harm to cut out those foods. Another food that can create a lot of problems is actually cow's milk, particularly processed cow's milk. Now, cow's milk can create problems in different ways. We have something called lactose intolerance that you may have heard of. And when you have lactose intolerance, you can't digest the sugar lactose in the milk. When you can't digest the lactose, you get a whole bunch of problems because the bacteria in your digestive system have to digest it for you. And when they do so, you get a whole load of bubbling and gases built up and what have you, and that can create loose stools, diarrhea, even constipation in some cases, as well as a bunch of bloating. And they are all hallmark symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome. Another food that I recommend you strongly avoid is soy. Soy is my arch nemesis. Whenever I have soy, I blow up like a balloon and I have really stinky, horrible bowel movements. Unless I eat soy, my digestive system works pretty well. So soy is the third food I recommend you try giving a miss. Certain other foods include raw vegetables, things like broccoli and cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. If you eat them raw or very lightly cooked, they can be very, very difficult to digest, especially if your digestive system is already vulnerable or already compromised. Even fruits that contain a lot of cellulose, which is actually the substance in these vegetables I just mentioned that you might find hard to digest. Fruits such as apples and pears, some of the harder fruits, may also trigger irritable bowel symptoms because they too contain a lot of cellulose that is very difficult to digest. Now, you can get around that by eating those foods in a much better cooked form. So cook your veggies more effectively, try and avoid the raw vegetables, and even cook your apples and pears. Bake them, for example, put a bit of cinnamon on them. And in fact, when you bake them, they can be really healing to the digestive system. Fructose is a sugar that is found predominantly in fruit. Certain vegetables have fructose in them as well. And if you're fructose intolerant, then eating a load of fructose in the form of particularly things like fruit juice or a lot of processed sugar can also create irritable bowels. And so I've just given you, 5, 6, 7 different foods to try avoiding. And I think you'll find if you have digestive symptoms, avoiding them or eliminating some of them and seeing how you feel, I think is going to be really beneficial for you. Now, if you'd like further information about how your diet and your eating habits can influence your digestive health, then please feel free to visit my website, hpylorisymptoms.com. You'll find a wealth of helpful and useful information there, and there are various different programs that we offer to help you overcome whatever symptoms it is that you may be experiencing. I hope you've enjoyed this video. My name is Dave Hompes, and I look forward to speaking with you again soon. Thank you.